Right. So last game, we had a bit of a skeleton crew, and it was fun times in the neighborhood where Eddie became a bird knight, signed a pact to save his life after being absolutely mugged in a single round of combat. Didn't even have a chance to grapple anybody, just left in the street to bleed out. A spooky bird appeared before him and told him he could live or die, but if he lived, he'd be teaching people bird language. So that's Eddie's new quest, is teaching people bird. Conversion did charity work, made reputation gains with the 5th grade house. And Craig became a detective, began their work to become the world's greatest detective. Flyman.
He's not teaching people bird, he's teaching them Arrowknee, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure there's a distinction there, because he can't talk to his own bird, right?
Eddie, you know what you must do.
Teach the bird Arrowknee.
Yeah, I mean, I see no other option.
Yeah.
You must teach the bird Arrowknee.
Eddie, he must.
Craig has this conversation to Eddie, and then only Eddie can see the big spectral bird man. It's like leaning against a wall, and he goes, "That's a smart guy. Do that. I like him. We're going to keep that one alive."
I like to think I have a badge that the detectives hate, and everybody else is like, "Haha, look at that stupid badge," but I'm super proud of it.
Also, I think I'm also going to say that everybody in the party knows Arrowknee now, by the way, as Eddie teaches it to you if you sit down. Yeah, like, it's not forcefully, but if you are sitting down not doing anything, you'll find Eddie next to you with a book open being like, so
you want to learn Arrowknee.
So, like, you know, literally if you have any free time, you learn Arrowknee from Eddie. Right. So with 2 weeks of downtime, what does Narvos and Carney want to do? Clarney? I don't know which one you are. One of the circus brothers.
Not the circus one, Clarney.
What do you guys want to do with 2 weeks of downtime?
Let's see.
I feel like a good portion of that would be dedicated to learning Arrowknee, whether we wanted to or not.
No, it only takes an hour.
No, very well then.
He magically imbues you with the knowledge of how to speak bird. It's actually kind of unsettling.
The telepathic gift of my patron.
The super modified version of the ceremony spell.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of 10 minutes, it's a whole hour, and it imbues you with the language of Arrowknee.
I've
to 12 creatures in a radius.
I've been wanting to acquire some sort of magical helmet of some sort.
Okay. What kind of helmet?
I don't have any kind of preference. I'm kind of game for anything, but I would like one that was like a miner's helmet. Maybe even had like some kind of magical lamp on it.
Okay.
Dread helm, but with flashlight.
Do you want it to do anything special, or just like magic helmet that doesn't break and possibly sheds light?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy enough. We're going to get this guy an adamantium helmet with a little somebody's installed a what are they called? Glow orbs?
Drift globe?
Drift globe.
Just give him back his drift globe. to install it, so it could be even cheaper for him.
Okay. Give me 500 gold for, no, you know what? I'll even cut it in half. If you want to spend some channel divinity, you could buy the raw adamantium for 250 gold. And with the drift globe that Craig gives you and the raw adamantium, you can make whatever you want stylistically.
Okay. Yeah. Because okay. Yeah. Let me do that.
Do you have any money, Chad?
Do I?
Do you have any money?
I do.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Because I have money if you need it.
Yeah, we have 2/3 of the money here.
No, less than that, because Conversion has all the platinum ripped down too.
True.
I'm unclear if everybody's safer with Conversion gone because Conversion will live on,
Right.
or if everybody's more in danger.
Yeah, that's rough.
We have another cleric.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would be it definitely wouldn't take the full 2 weeks, but looking for that 500 gold piece dragon thing so I can do that spell. And
you already asked for it.
did I get that?
Yeah.
Or no, that's right. It was put in and it
during
would
the
get
bird
made.
quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Bird quest.
it's been too long. And then I also need a pickled tentacle, an eyeball, and a platinum inlaid vial worth at least 400 gold pieces for summon abjuration or aberration.
Well, the pickle tentacle, fairly easy to find in the trade. The platinum vial is another one of those. Give me double that, and then wait 2 weeks.
What if we just got the platinum in a vial and Clarny channeled divinity on it?
Then you just need to pay 400 gold for a
Exactly.
platinum.
Okay. I only have 120 gold pieces.
Okay, keep that. I will mark off the 250.
I can mark off 400 for that.
Okay, I'll get rid of
mine.
that. Oh, you have money?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like 650 on mine. So
Okay.
all right, I will take care of that then. And that's the only 2 spells I have that actually have a monetary value.
Okay. Easily done. Clarny's got plenty of days to use channel divinity. I think he's actually probably got multiple channel divinities right now.
Yeah. I've got like I think it's only 24 hours for most items. I don't remember.
I mean, other than that, I'd just be helping out around the ship or just helping out people around, in the group around the city doing whatever. I feel a little bit more confident now that I have like a beard in terms of people not being able to recognize me. So,
for the most part, you spend your days on board just because this is the past 2 weeks. Like, this is the same time as Eddie becomes Bird Knight and Craig becomes a detective. Right. At the end of those 2 weeks, you guys have your items, so you can just have those items. Because Clarny just does that. He forges. Does the forge cleric thing.
you do a forge.
Cute little vial, and then makes himself a hat, a miner's helmet, and
we need to replace our what's it called? The door knocker downer. What's it called? Ram.
Ram.
We need our
Battering
battering
ram.
did leave that. Yeah, you did leave that.
How much money is that?
How much does battering cost? Battering ram should be. Was it a portable ram, or do you just want a normal ram?
No, it was a big one.
It was a big one.
200 gold for a ram.
All right, so is that half? Or
Yeah, sure. Call it half, and then he can make one.
right.
Do. So you got to do battering ram. Got a helmet that also has the drift globe properties.
So this is an adamantium helmet, you said?
Yeah, that just means that if somebody specifically hits you in the head, it's not that it doesn't affect you, but it can't critically strike you. It's just heavy. It's just heavy and hard, and like you could probably use your head as a battering ram. It won't break except by magical means.
Cool. Sounds good.
Right. So at the end of those 2 weeks, you guys are just hanging around, some boat time, some R&R, starting to think about finding a new task. Been a hot minute. Bird Quest was a relatively easy time. Craig, would you be out in the city doing more detective work? Would you be on the boat? Where do you want to be?
Depends what everybody else has been up to. If it's just chilling,
Yeah, it's just chilling time. Everybody's on vacation.
I'd probably be bugging the detectives. They'd probably be wanting to chill too and not do anything, but I'd be making them do their job.
Yeah, they're like feet up at the office drinking coffee and eating donuts, and they often tell you to leave, but by like midday every day you have them out in the streets patrolling, and you get a couple things every day. Eddie, you're teaching people on the boat, right? You're on the boat, like you.
Yeah, people on the boat.
Bird.
I don't know why I'm coughing today.
Herb.
Teaching them air coughing.
Your parrot also can now talk to you in Bird. It's kind of broken Bird, but it is more language than it knew in Common now. So it can, in Arrowknee, yell more things than just help me.
Now, instead of help me, it can say, please help me.
But in Bird. Which everybody understands.
Everyone in our crew knows Bird, so I think that's okay.
Everybody in the crew knows Bird now, so it does work. Everybody now needs to turn on subtitles when dealing with us. So you guys are chilling, and on the boat, Craig's out, which is perfect. Anybody on deck? Does anybody care to look out to the ocean? Who looks out to the ocean in their time off? Or are you all focused on your own endeavors?
I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything particularly. So it'd just
Clarny
be like,
definitely looks out.
Okay, Clarny looks out at the ocean. Narvos, give or take.
I wouldn't be like actively looking out. I'd just be like,
yeah, this is like, you guys have been on the ocean for a long time. Who at this point still is like in their free time sitting with their eyes to the horizon? And that seems to be Clarny.
Tim Toothy.
Yeah, Tim Toothy, definitely. He's always looking for that pirate. That's why his eyes are to the horizon. But you see Clarny on the very far side of what you'd consider to be the harbor of Solnar. 1, 2, 3, half a dozen ships push up out of the waves.
Like in the distance, or like actually in the harbor at this
No,
point?
they seem to be at the very edge of the harbor. So like they'd be out here. and the displaced water starts traveling very fast towards the docks. The people on the docks quickly begin to run. You see people dropping their supplies and just full sprinting towards the inner sort of wall. It's not as tall as the farther out walls, but there is a wall that protects the kind of more like a levee, maybe is the right word. Sand wall is not really the right word, but like more to protect from water than the massive walls of Solnar. And you just see people just drop their things and run. Lots of screaming, lots of yelling.
Bulkhead.
I yell at the crew, and looks like there's some company coming, and everyone on the dock is not taking it too well.
I said we get to the wall. We get Craig back here and we get ready for whatever this is.
Is it as if
Craig,
they warped in?
No,
because that's what I'm picturing right now because of the water.
Is it like they're rushing in? Like they?
No,
like,
the ships. Like
fast?
if you're taking a hot moment, you see those ships are still there. Can I get a perception check from you, Clarny? Craig, you in the city, wherever you are in the city, we'll say you're relatively close, but like the panic starts to gather in the streets around you. You see the beginnings of the people running are beginning to sprint past you. And like you and the two detectives are like, what's going on?
I'm instantly going the opposite direction of wherever people are running.
Okay. Neither of the cops follow you.
Of course.
Obviously.
Neither of those two dudes follow that track.
We got to go our pay grade.
It's a 21 on that perception check.
You see waving flags on those ships of the Elysian Empire.
Jeez. Why?
Oh, fellas. Hey. Hey.
Oh, fuck.
So they did a full like Pirates of the Caribbean out of the water. Gotcha.
Out of the water. Correct. Yeah. It's a dozen ships of the damned. So what do you want to do? You guys are on the ship. Craig, you're full sprinting. And as you make it to like where you can see out, you can see that huge wave pushing it. It's about halfway to the seawall.
I'm gonna get to the ship. Can I get to it before the wave hits it?
You think you might be? You can triple move, right? Because you have rogue.
Yeah.
So you'll make it, but then you're gonna need to sprint back.
Like I just want to like, as the waves hitting our ship, destroy water on as much of it as I can. You know, that's my goal, is to make our ship not be destroyed against the wall. Okay,
go right ahead. So you that with that being your goal, you start sprinting. What's everybody else doing? The peons on your ship, the like non-essential workers that Convergent had hired to maintain the ship, flee. They don't need to be told twice. They see what's happening. They haul. What are the main characters doing?
Eddie's like a little bit concerned.
You can't grapple a wave, Eddie. You can't do it.
Grapple the wave. Do it.
He's gonna pull out his whip.
I'm going to use the the immovable rod aspect and make it so the wave can't pass it.
I'm gonna sentinel the wave.
Eddie brings out an Echo Knight, and that's what he does. He readies an Echo Knight.
Shadow jutsu, and a little shadow appears. Okay, that's what he's up to. Clarny and Narvos.
I'm gonna cast. Is everyone around me? Can I cast like walk on water on everybody just to get everyone ready?
You turn and you see Craig sprinting up the docks.
Okay, I'm just gonna get ready. I'm not gonna. I don't have anything really to do besides
the
prepare?
only thing, the only thing I could really do is do a wall of ice as like a shield protective thing.
I come running up yelling. That's the funniest thing. I come running up yelling, "Hey, can you do the opposite of your wall of fire?"
Opposite of my
wall of
and
fire.
I don't know that you have wall of ice. So
Oh, I've used wall of ice before.
I forgot about it.
He's got that big staff. Narvos walks around with a staff of
I just
ice.
have a casual Gandalf staff.
Yeah,
but
Jaina
ice.
Proudmoore's staff. Okay.
No, I mean, I could try without making basically just a giant brick of ice that will Titanic our ship if it goes wrong.
Yeah, that's my concern. Is that it's like you have nowhere to stabilize it, and so I'm just going to say a force of nature like that is going to either just break the wall with bludgeoning damage or push it into your ship. Neither of those options really are great.
No, not at all.
Okay. Hey, Craig, you know that you destroy up to 10 gallons of water?
10 whole gallons. I'm trying to protect us.
Guys, I can tell you what about the other like 100,000 coming at you right now. Don't worry about it.
Standing on the back of the ship, just and it's gonna hit us in like it's gonna be a 6-second affair. I can only do it once, like
So you're just like I'm helping guys.
They all stayed. They all writes down in DM journal. They all stayed on the boat.
Well, Carney
I
water walk on.
I thought we were out like up on the wall.
So these little markers here are where the boat stock.
And the walls behind it. If you left the ship, that's fine, but I'm on the ship for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So is anybody going to get on the wheel?
Are any of us able to like?
Clarny's
capable.
The driver.
Yeah.
Clarny drives the boat.
So what? You cast water walk and hop on the wheel?
We're gonna go towards them.
I don't know.
Solnar, take the wheel.
So right now you have about a heartbeat and a half. This massive wave is coming in about here. Craig is at the front of the boat, or at the back of the boat. Hands out, ready to cast Destroy Water for the immediate hit. You've cast Water Walking, Clarny. What else would you like to do?
Maybe we should all go under the deck.
Pretty sure that's like the last possible, or like the last place I've seen so many times that people get trapped under there when water happens. I'm ready to just like bamf out the wings and fly away to like grab someone if they get eaten off.
I mean, I'm taking the wave to the face in the back of the ship, right?
Yeah, I'm ready to just grab you because you're gonna get ragdolled.
At this point, the water hits. Craig destroys the first 10 gallons, and so this pocket about the size of the back of the ship appears. And so the
maybe
wave
it'll pick us up and put us just on shore, just fine.
There's a brief moment where your ship on 3 sides is enveloped by a wave, and Craig and Clarny are completely engulfed in shadow of this wave. And then it collapses onto the back of the ship. The water just fills the void. Let me look up this number. Okay. I need this, and I need this.
I mean, who has a plan for if skeletons tsunami you know?
Yeah.
So everybody on the boat takes 45 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And you are spun out, and nobody can breathe right
because he's flying.
Did Narvos actually leave?
He said he was bamfing his wings out, and then I mean, I
So, like-
assume you were above the wave at least, right?
Yeah, I was like hovering in case somebody just got absolutely ragdolled and like
Then
they were just
you get a
knocked
deck
out.
save.
Yeah. I was doing that, like, if they're unconscious, I can sweep down, grab them, coast guard them out of there. Deck
You
save.
get a deck save to get out of the way.
Dirty 20.
Sure. Right. That, and then the boat takes 90 points of bludgeoning damage. Plus
It's a boat, it can take it.
another, I'm going to say another 100 points of damage as the water, as it is deposited on the seawall about here.
Yeah, slaps into it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
what our
okay,
HP
guys. I have
is
another
total.
boat.
I think either Chad or the
boat
merchant
house.
has those stats.
Sailing ship. Creature capacity, travel pace, hit points 300.
Okay.
So 200. You're taking 200 points of damage. So your ship's heavily damaged. It's, I don't want to be taking this back on the ocean type damage,
has to
but
be
repairable.
Yeah.
Very, very repairable.
And then the wave dissipates. Everybody sort of like picks themselves up. Your ship deposited sort of like, at a diagonal position due to how boats are. You all pick yourselves up out of, rubble in the streets or off the ropes that you find yourself tangled in.
I'm gonna say we all have to go, looking at the ships in the distance. And I want to find the dock master or whoever I can find most in charge and give them a bunch of money to take care of our ship first.
Okay. Well, first,
I was gonna say, is there any Solnar response of like military stuff happening?
Well, yeah,
or is it just
yeah,
people
hold
running? Yeah.
currently looking around, it's people running, but you see initial moments. You see those ships not advancing. Like they did not follow the wave. They have just barricaded. They've what's the word I'm looking for? Blockaded. They've blockaded the harbor of Solnar.
And this is out of nowhere, right? We had no
Yeah, it was a nice sunny day.
But last we heard, they were a good.
Yeah.
They trade with each other.
They were trading,
right?
yeah. They were trading.
Holy shit!
Not like, signed treaty allies, but
yeah. But...
what's the word I'm looking for? Economic trade partners. So they are there. You see, Craig, with your stupid high passive perception, you see an arcane glimmer on the center boat out there. At the same time, all around you, you begin to see flying warriors begin to appear in the skies.
What the fuck?
All of the Aasimar with wings out. It's the beginning, the first responders of the army of Solnar are pulling up. Lot of dudes with those warhammers you saw. Bunch of clerics, and for the very first time you see their leadership of paladins. There's probably a half dozen of them in literally the most stereotypical paladin gear you can imagine. Shining plate mail, symbols of the Dawn Father, the Wild Mother, all of the various major deities. And then riding they're called Kieran, I believe. Not only Narvos recognizes this man, Alexander Dumas himself.
Oh, I recognize him. I've
you've
figured it
never
out.
seen him.
Yeah,
you've never seen him in person before. But yeah, literally the dude, he's got this flaming warhammer tied to his back. Literally riding what is like a creature of the gods.
What is it? A Pegasus?
No, it's a Kieran.
What's a Kieran?
They are a bit more scaly. Here.
Oh, okay. So it's like a unicorn dragon?
Kinda, yeah. That's a good. That's
Monster
a good.
Hunter Kieran.
It's like the one of the dragons from Raya.
They're very pretty. They do kind of have a unicorn aspect to them. But anyways, and at that point, a arcane teleportation magic appears next to Alexander Dumas, and with your passive perception, you can see a letter folds out and lands onto his Kieran. At the same time, the same arcane sigil appears. It has to be Convergent. So I'm just going to puppet Convergent for a hot minute because he's the captain, and it'd be kind of dumb if any of you got it. The same purple letter appears in front of Convergent.
Please tell me Alexander Dumas is the person that mouths words as they read.
He has like the old person reading glasses that he.
No, but yeah, he definitely has to take a moment and like lift up his visor, fish in a bag of holding, and pull out his reading glasses, his trifocal reading glasses. No, but very quickly, you see like Alexander Dumas holds up a hold signal, and Convergent gathers you all close and hands you the letter with a grim look on his face. By you, I mean Craig.
What's it say? Do you have it typed out? I'll read.
No, I don't. I should though. That's a great idea. Man, you're smarter than me.
That's not true.
Here. Give me a second and I'm going to type it out.
What is this gift from, Joa, of this bird guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that? That's from Moon Knight? I have yet to watch Moon Knight, man.
It is. It's incredible.
I know it's good, but I'm just so behind on Marvel. I know it has nothing to do with a lot of
that's the dude that makes Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Khonshu, yes. Bless you.
I tried party mode for Discord and made Discord really slow.
I didn't. I saw it. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
It was cool at first, then I was like, man, I gotta switch it off.
What didn't even do?
Like made your screen shake when you were talking.
Yeah, it's happening to me right now while I'm doing this, and I really hate it.
Yeah.
That seems just like an epilepsy warning.
Yeah,
there literally when you started, there literally was an epilepsy warning.
Yeah, there's like confetti when people mention you and stuff.
That whole message to you, and it did confetti every time I typed.
Dear Curiosity, you are cordially invited to the gathering of heroic beings to help keep the status quo and avoid a conflict of major nations. Please gather together and press the seal, and you will be brought up to my abode. Signed yours, the owner of the Continental Nobody.
And there is like a little wax seal on the inside, and on it is a what you surmise to be like a pair of glasses, almost like Harry Potter glasses, two circular glasses with like lenses with a single line for the bridge of the nose.
So is this like one of William's guys?
You can go ahead and make me a history check. Narvos, after hearing that, can also make me a history check.
Cool. Because that's something that I'm fantastic at doing.
Yeah, I brought. We've been hanging out in your home this whole time, and you're like, I slept through every history class.
I have a plus. I mean, at least it's a +1 to history, not a minus anything. I also have to like try to sit up and get a good spot to roll because I'm on a futon that is slanted, so anything I roll will just go into my lap.
I got a 14.
Okay.
There it goes. 19.
19. The 14, you know that this is not one of William's goons. There's nobody that has the alias of nobody that was in William's forces that you remember, and the Continental rings no bells. That is exactly what rings bells to you, Narvos, is the Continental. It is the proprietor, it is the major corporation, essentially, the major thing, owner, runner of Sheltertown. It is the big building in the center of Sheltertown, and nobody runs it. Which is a fun little, who runs the Continental? Nobody.
So these ships came because they were invited to, I'm guessing.
They just had to show up in the most dickish and provocative way.
You're unclear. You did see the same after the wave hit. You did see the same arcane teleportation magic appear on the center boat out there.
Right. What's the name of the military lady?
Do you mean the head of the guard?
Yeah.
Electra Dumas?
Yes.
Well, Alexander Dumas outranks her.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to him. I've never had a conversation with the man, Like,
you see that he actually begins to fly back towards deeper into the city, and Electra Dumas is nowhere to be found, though more and more Solnarian troops begin to fly over, wings all out.
I would have popped my wings back in as soon as I made sure that none of our people were dead or like hurt.
Yep.
Just because I don't want to. I'm not quite ready to be like, hey, it's me, the missing guy, by the way.
Mm-hmm. You do see, like Narvos, you do see very quickly, because the the trade district isn't too far from the water. Several of House Narvos have already made it to begin to set up, and they begin to set up what I can only explain as a shield of light. The mages, as they appear, work with the clerics, and essentially this radiant shield begins to form between the beaches, the docks, the ruined docks at this point, and about the same height as the walls go around the city.
Nice.
holy shit, House Narvos is doing something.
About every house is there.
Well, yeah, they kind of have to at this point. There's a direct threat to the city.
Yes.
This is the only time they'll actually do something.
Correct. It's one of those rare times where like the baked in nationalism of Solnar kicks in, and they're like, well, you can't do that. We can tear this down from the inside. You all stay out. It's our place to ruin.
We can destroy it ourselves,
It's our place to ruin.
Yeah,
this is exactly why I left.
Right. You see in the distance another decent size, enough to like kind of obscure the deck of the middle like flagship. Like a cloud of purple smoke appears, and then in about 6 seconds disappears. Unclear. A couple seconds later, you hear like the sound reaches you of a boom. Not like an explosive boom, but more of like a loud popping sound.
Don't understand why he would bring his forces. He could certainly just teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Even with a small continuance of his head guard. I just don't understand it. He wants to make a show. Must know we're here.
I mean, yeah, that could have been, like you said, the vanguard of an attack. Everything else is just holding underwater, and the only reason the attack didn't go through is because they got stopped by this.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're teamed up with the demons.
Maybe. I don't know. But what are we gonna do about this this letter?
Conversion's like half asleep.
He's just sound asleep, standing up right there.
He's been a bit out of it since the ghost thing happened.
Yes, he's been expending all of his energy every day helping homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get our ship fixed.
Yeah.
First things first.
Narvos, I just kind of want to make a statement about the teleportation thing. You know that the moment Solnar becomes under attack like this, wards are activated so that further teleportation can't work.
Mm-hmm.
People can teleport out, nothing can teleport in.
I was referencing, I imagine that this meeting's going to be held in Sheltertown, right?
Yes.
So I was saying William could have just teleported to Sheltertown, and he didn't have to bring his guard here. So if this was his plan, like, it feels like he came to show off or attack because he could have just teleported to Sheltertown, not here,
Yeah, like it seems that this whatever message this was seemed to happen just now, and it would have taken him how many weeks or so to boat over to here.
They got it right as we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was already on the way over here. So unless he knew about it before anyone else did, he was already planning on coming over here.
But we saw
for something.
like a scout ship or something, right?
There's either a scout ship or a trade ship.
Yeah.
Yep. But you did see an Olesian ship that was riding very high in the water.
And these came submarine style, right?
Yeah. Yep. They came up out of the water like the ship of the damned.
The Flying Dutchman.
Either way, I don't trust it. I need to find I don't know.
Craig's like, what the fuck kind of game is he playing? So what's the plan? You have like the civilians of Solnar have not returned. This has suddenly become the front of a conflict. Very quickly, your ship is starting to be boarded by Solnar like troops who
I'll talk to
have
them.
some sort of awareness of who you are, so aren't telling you to leave, but they are beginning to like fortify your boat with like a large ballista emplacement. They're literally going to use it as cover.
Guys, if you're going to do this, we need to repair the ship. You're going to put too much weight on it. So if we can get some way to repair it, that would be fantastic first.
Well, we do not currently control the harbor. We cannot push it back into the ocean.
Okay, then put your fucking ballista on the dock and don't put extra weight on our ship that has holes in it.
We're gonna use the boat as the boat is totaled. If
it's
those
not totaled, we need this ship.
Well, you can have the ship when the war is won. We need it to survive.
You're not gonna survive in it. It's gonna sink. Your ballista's gonna be at the bottom of the fucking ocean.
No, you're on land. The boat's
on land.
Shore.
Yeah, it's on the land.
Never mind.
Shore.
I didn't know it was on land. I thought we were still floating. Okay.
No, your boat is tipped sideways
that's
on land.
Fine then. I don't even care.
Yeah. So you guys can do whatever you want with it as long as it gets repaired.
Like they tell you, they hope that it'll be in the same condition you leave it in, but like. If this becomes the land invasion they expect it to, we're using it as cover.
All right, but you better beware.
There
is a kobold and a goblin in there. I'll kick your ass if you try to touch our stuff.
There also may or may not be a massive bugbear in there. We haven't seen him in a while, so we don't know what's up with that. But he might be in there, and he likes to hurt things.
There's at least half an orc.
Okay. They just use
and pieces of goblin
from these guards.
Don't trust the receipt.
Don't trust any of the pickle jars. People just fell asleep in the pickle jars. Don't trust anything that's a pickle jar in there.
Don't trust the pickles.
Velrand, you're the most competent person that isn't half asleep. You watch everything, okay?
Yes, sir. Full-on clone soldier salute, turns around, begins to cordon off the lower deck. You looking around, you see that at this point, a massive, radiant, magical wall has been constructed. The Elysian boats seem to have spread out and now completely control the bottleneck of the harbor. They don't seem to be attacking, but at the same time, Craig, with your stupid passive perception, you do see that on about half a dozen of the ships, there are skeletons and zombies going off the sides.
Dropping into the water.
Yep.
Most likely just walking on the bottom of the ocean.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh, full on. They're gonna Terminator that shit come out of the water.
Right. So what are you guys doing?
There's an opportunity to take a short rest.
Yeah, I feel like a good portion of us kind of got slammed by that and need to like rest up before we go to some fancy meeting. But
there will be a battle here in about the next 20 minutes.
Meeting isn't happening this game, right?
It probably should.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have our leader.
No.
Fuck.
It probably will take multiple games this meeting. But if you guys take a short rest, a battle's happening. Right where you're standing, you can see the soldiers dropping off the boats and walking towards the shore. Or you assume they're walking towards the shore. You don't know exactly why, I guess, they're dropping off the boats.
So, I mean, whatever we end up doing, I know that I left this place for a reason, and I don't like it, but I still don't want to see it get taken out. Craig, do you just want to make sure the soldiers know, because I don't know if they can see exactly what's going on as well as you can. Do you want to just make sure they know that, oh, there's guys jumping off the boat out there, off the boats coming this way probably, so they're not like, oh, we had our long range stuff set up, and all of a sudden these dudes are here.
I'll find the shiniest guy I can. Be like, hey.
Yeah, at this point, Electra Dumas is there, and while you're having this conversation, Alexander Dumas returns on his Kieran.
Electra.
Very much sans letter at this point. Yes. What do you need?
They're dropping off the boats. I don't know how long your range is in your eyes. They're coming.
We assumed that would be their tactic. We struggle when facing mass numbers, but we could take down their ships if they moved any closer. And their artillery on their ships will do nothing to our shields.
I would just recommend getting as many clerics as you can on the beaches and just have them turn as soon as they walk into their sights.
Oh, we know how to fight these damned undead. Don't you worry. We will hold this. Nobody's taken Solnar yet, and we don't plan to lose today.
I don't know about this meeting. I don't understand.
She kind of like furrows her brow. I don't understand. And then Alexander Dumas, flying above, hears that because he also has stupid perception. Because he's a level 20 cleric, paladin. He flies down and like clip clop, and like where his Kieran lands, little golden horse hooves appear where the hooves sat for like a couple seconds. It's very pretty and radiant. And he furrows his brow and goes, "You got one of those letters too?"
Of course.
Indeed.
What do you register as, Craig?
Undead.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The divine sense of the paladin, he instantly froze his brow and goes, I think it's a charisma saving throw, Craig.
Okay.
Let me just double check.
Jesus
As a
Christ.
zone of truth is nailed down around you.
I rolled a natural 2. It doesn't matter what kind of save it is.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, Zone of Truth is not bad. I thought he was going to just be like, and you're dead now, bye.
No. So zone of truth, you rolled a 2. You feel that you can't lie to this man. Are you a spy? Who are you?
No, I was once a person of the Rumagarian kingdom. I died a long time ago, was brought back to serve this fucking asshole, and I point towards the ocean. And somehow I woke up conscious soul in my body, and I don't know, but I know I want to take down that motherfucker, and we've been here helping you guys so we can grow more powerful, so we can do it.
Okay. Like, as the rambling begins, like he holds out his gauntleted hand, is like, okay, I believe you. If you got one of those letters, that means that nobody thinks that you're very important in this situation.
Wait. Oh,
Wait, what?
no, sorry. Yes, sorry. The name threw me off, and I thought you were saying the opposite of what you just said.
Okay,
That is very confusing now, isn't it? But that is the way he intends it.
We are important because if it wasn't for that letter, we would be all hands on deck fighting these people with you right now.
Well, I beg of you, see what you can do. If you've been fighting for us, see what you can do.
Are you going?
Save
Did
many
everybody
lives.
in your leadership get one of these letters?
No, it was just me, but
Just
I brought
you.
it to Solnar himself, and he has gone on the diplomatic mission.
Right. Are you the only one staying of the house leaders?
House Ophelia is working on gathering the civilians and bringing them to the shelters. House Narvos should be somewhere around here, and I fear the head of House Carlisle died in the initial attack.
Oof.
You know that House Carlisle was the dock people.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, but still.
You asked if you could see the Dogmaster, and I kind of forgot about that. His body is kicking around there. So,
My God.
like the Dockmaster that you guys had paid and talked to, dude's dead.
We must go. We have to head off.
Be good, be safe. And Alexander Dumas flies off on his Kieran.
Same for you.
Right.
Stark
now-
away. I'm gonna pull him off the side.
Okay.
You know Sonar's gonna recognize you yourself, right?
I mean, I'm trying to keep it hidden, but yeah,
You've
you can't
never
at a time.
actually seen Solnar, by the way. Like, that dude is a myth. He's older than the city itself.
Mhm.
It's at, like, the only way I can, like, explain it kind of is like, if George Washington just was
Wasn't
immortal.
Yeah.
That's the kind of reverence in terms of, like, the American psyche that this dude has.
But I assume he has the type of omnipotence that will know him to be who he is, yeah?
He's not a god. He's not a god. So it's up in the air. It's up in the he is. You've met Dispater. Dispater's more powerful than Solnar.
Okay.
Like, they're not they're not equals. Solnar is very powerful, but like Dispater runs his own layer of hell. Solnar has a city on the mortal plane. We are not
Right.
the same.
Yeah. Well, either way, it might be a good bargaining chip.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I know that eventually, chances are people figure out who I am or discover who I am. That's okay, but I still don't want to go running around telling people.
Eddie,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
in this meeting, you cannot teach anybody bird.
I will consult with my my friend about that.
Leaning on his big stick of bird kind, he goes, well, if they deserve to learn bird, we will teach them bird. And you know this, Eddie. You are a strong acolyte.
Let's just put it this way: if you go around doing that or trying to do that to people, we might have to pretend that we don't know who you are to save face to keep things from going sideways.
Also, it would be nice to have a language that we don't share with our enemies.
Yeah, it's kind of like a secret code language at this point.
Well, like, Eddie, you hear as he turns around and disappears into the shadows. Well, that's the whole point. I don't want it to be secret anymore.
Eddie, you He gives like a nod, like yeah, I see what you mean. But the sonar people, they could definitely learn, right? They could learn. They're good guys.
Yes, that's fine. Just don't teach it to William.
As long as they're not in the middle of combat, like if they're fighting, please don't do that because that would be a problem.
I also don't think I should talk.
Fighting is the best classroom.
I really don't think I should talk much in this meeting because it'll just go awry. Narvos,
I'm gonna call him a bastard.
Pull this one out for us, buddy. You're the best talker we have.
Oh boy, you got it.
Okay. Is it time?
What else are we supposed to do? You know?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't want to push you along.
It's either that or stick around and fight here. Which
I'm just waiting. I'm trying to not like.
How much time until the meeting? Let's go inland. Find a place. Find a little alleyway to take a quick little short rest.
I'm going to repeat myself.
We're going to be a fight momentarily. We don't have time to do
There
that.
is no time to short rest.
If we're going to short rest,
Is the fight going to be on the docks, or is the fight going to be
Listen,
deep in the city?
Eddie, we can. It's going to take us a while to get to this fucking meeting. That's the problem, right? So we're going to short.
This
We're
is
going
like
to
about to be
long rest.
zombie Normandy, all right? This is about to be zombie D-Day.
But do you remember this place we're going is further than the fort?
Well, no, you can teleport. That's
we can. We press the.
That's what the letter was. You put the button on it.
We really should short
press the seal, and you will be brought to my abode. If you fight, if you take a short rest, here's the give and take. Take a short rest further inland. The conflict with Solnar and the Elysian Empire will begin in earnest. Or you take the seal and hope you can get a stay of the fighting before the fighting begins.
Do we want a conflict?
To do, yeah.
Wild.
Because I thought the whole point here, we want to kind of ally ourselves with Sonar and then
this
use
is just
them
our
as
exactly. Yeah. But
I mean, yes, but we can accomplish the same thing, guys.
We
I was going to say, give me a intelligence check on Craig, or a history. I'll give you a history if you've got it, but like it's generally just
the same check.
I guess maybe investigation. 15. It's like putting puzzle pieces together.
Investigation would be a 20.
Okay, I'll give you the 20. You've never known. You fought in the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
You've never known William to engage in a fight he thinks he'll lose.
Right.
He runs. He very much. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Game of Thrones, but like he's very much the Tywin Lannister model of like, if I don't think I can win that fight, I pull back my troops. If I don't think I can win that fight, I put them behind castles.
He's the General Grievous. He will fight only if he can win.
We want to put this off. We want to call a peace for now and use this to our advantage later.
Yes.
The Solnarians are not going to forget that the Elysian Empire just surprise attacked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it won't matter if they're overrun by the dead and join
zombies.
Yeah.
That's the logic that I want to sort of impart on you.
Here's what we'll do. Us four, we can go. The rest of our crew can stick back and provide support and help. Yeah.
All right, look, hold on. Give me 15 seconds.
Okay.
While we're doing that, I need to go run to the bathroom before I do all this talking.
Go on break anyway.
Yeah, we'll do a break.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do a break?
I healed Eddie for 20 hit points.
Okay. Eddie, you got healed for 20 hit points. Write that down, buddy.
Craig, I'm healing you for 11. I give you a pat on the back and restore 11 to you.
We're gonna go on break.
Yay!
The lake crashed into our ship.
Okay. So everybody gathers together. Craig presses the seal, and you are all engulfed in that same purple smoke. David, you're still echoing the TV, buddy. Right. The purple smoke engulfs you all, and then that same loud popping sound you heard from the ships happens, and you are all teleported, and it's this like gut wrenching feeling, like a hook's been hooked around your stomach, and you're being pulled across distances, and then suddenly you are you stop, and you all have this brief moment of like sea legs, I guess would be the best option. Like many of you put your hands on the wall to stabilize yourself, and you find yourself in a very well furnished, well lit room. A teleportation circle is engraved in the center of the room. A beautiful chandelier hangs down above you, and there is a nice oaken door set in one of the walls in the room. The rest of the walls are covered in like elegant paintings of artists you've never heard of, a few portraits of people you don't know, landscapes, just a very pretty room. What would you guys like to do?
I've got a foldable hand crossbow, just at the ready to pop out and shoot if I need to.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna pull like my gun or bow.
Is not what I was expecting, but I guess I'll take it.
And Cody's going to be walking in behind me.
Okay, so Cody is out behind you. The door opens, and the sound of a lot of people and like the clinking of glass and the pouring of drinks pours into the room, and it's like a soft orangey yellow light pours in as a butler of sorts opens the door in black and whites, bald head, mustache, bows briefly to you all and goes, "Curiosity, I assume."
That would be us, yes.
Excellent, excellent. If you would follow me. And he turns around and just kind of expects you all to follow. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I would first like prestidigitate ourselves to make us like any bumps or anything get taken out. We look nicer.
I'd ask you not to.
I don't for you then.
I let my flies fly.
Okay. You guys do kind of look like in anime when like they've been like in a brief fight and they have those like just scuff marks on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you guys look like going through this place. And in this place there are as you're traveling through, it's like a 1920s bar almost. Everybody's sort of dressed up. A lot of dresses, a lot of tuxedos, a lot of like long coats. Everybody's drinking, everybody's smiling. Many eyes do follow you from booths and tables and the bars you guys walk through, following this butler. He leads you behind the bar and opens a staircase from the ground, like opens a bit of a trap door, and walks down some rickety stairs. You all proceed down in single file, and it comes into a probably about, I'm bad with this like sizes, probably like a 60-foot room, I would say. In the center, a large table sits. A single swinging light with an arcane crystal as the light source swings. It's very creepy to a degree. It's very like cement and wood furnished down here, a bit cooler. The walls are lined with barrels. And sitting at this table are a host of individuals. There's about 5 undead. There are 3 obvious Aasimar. There is a tiefling and Dispater. And there are 2 demon-esque creatures. One of them looks very gnoll-like, and the other is bulbous and like very discolored. He's got horns on his head. Is essentially half naked and wearing a loincloth. Has no shirt. Probably like 6.5, 7 feet tall and 400 pounds, sitting in a chair. And then there are about another half a dozen or more empty seats. It is very silent in this room. Everybody seems to be looking at one another. There's a few whispers to their own colleagues. But other than that, oddly silent. And as the butler walks in and you guys file in behind him, it goes completely silent, and everyone turns to look at you, and the butler goes, "Curiosity has arrived. Soon the master of the house will be with you, and the proceedings may begin. If you need anything, please ring the bell at the center of the table. Refreshments will be arriving with the master." And he swiftly walks back up the stairs and closes the trapdoor. The sound of the upstairs bar disappears the instant the trapdoor closes. Craig, with your passive everything, I would say you are aware that a enchantment goes into effect when, and I'd actually call it an abjuration goes into effect when the trapdoor is closed.
Like a magic lock on the door?
No, an abjuration. It's just an abjuration effect. I'm not gonna give you any more information.
I got you.
Than that.
Can I cast a mage hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cast a fly hand.
I pull my chair out with my fly hand. Sit down.
Okay. There's plenty of seats for all of you. There is one obvious seat that is more adorned. That is obviously meant for the master of the chamber. Right. The map is a map of the world. Like the table has a map of the known world that goes from Arrowknee and a little bit north of Arrowknee, all the way down to the southern reaches of the Elysian Empire. It has many of the islands between the Elysian Empire and Solnar. And you can see that the Solnar Empire now, maybe the northern edge is on the same parallel as Arrowknee, the city of Arrowknee. Like the Volcano Island sits on probably the same line as the city of Arrowknee.
So they only have the 2 continents on the map?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You do see to the south of Solnar is another landmass. Like there's another big ocean and the beginning of a landmass, and it's just not finished. That's where the map ends. So it's unclear if that's a large island or another landmass. But there is nothing to the north of Solnar on this map. There's some scattered islands, but that's it. And then the barony of Fleshberg. This map of the barony actually has the barony split into about 5 different nations. It's a much more detailed map of the barony and how it currently sits. What would you guys like to do? I guess. Sorry, please.
Eddie wants to schmooze and talk about teaching people Eric Cochran. That's what he's going to do. He's going to schmooze with fancy types, and he's going to tell them, I have recently come across some very interesting historical knowledge, and I'm good, like trying to allude to some secret power and make it sound very, very cool and get them super interested in me.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. Eddie begins talking in the awkward silence. What are the rest of you up to?
I want to discreetly have some flies, have one fly go to each of where the spots are on the map where an orb would still be.
Okay, so you just want to mark on the map where the orbs are that you know with your flies?
Yep.
So do 2 of them go to Solnar?
No.
Okay.
No, where the orbs we haven't gotten are. Yeah.
Okay, so you mark one in that little bay for the merfolk. You mark one at the volcano. You put one here in Sheltertown, and then you put one on the main city of Fleshburg.
Yeah, and then I put one kind of to the east of Fleshburg, and
Okay.
I put one. There's one more. I don't remember where it goes.
I believe there's 2 others in Fleshburg that Iknath just kind of goes. They change hands.
Yeah.
So you can actually see that there are 5 major nations in Fleshburg, and inside each of those nations, there's a smaller circle. And you see there, like, Fleshburg has its own larger city. It seems to be the, like, major center. And then to the northeast, there's another nation, and you put a fly there. And, like, it starts to make sense that if there's one always in Fleshburg, the other 2 must float between the other nations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's how the power struggle works.
Mm.
Right.
I'll just be looking around the table, not like making eye contact, but just kind of getting a general gist of everyone and everything like that.
Okay. And then Clarny, what are you up to?
I do not sit, but I raise myself up with my granite slab and just kind of like stand up behind our crew where they're sitting. But I don't want to sit down.
Okay. So
like I'm just up enough to where I can like keep head level and eye level with everyone at the table, like kind of above.
You can move a chair and be in position, or do you want to be like behind your party?
Behind the party.
Okay.
Like not at the table, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Narvos, and this also goes to Craig. Craig, it's very apparent that William is not at this meeting. None of those undead are a living man.
So it's all undead. That's it. There's
all
no
undead.
living people at all.
There's not a living man over there.
Are you kidding me?
Do we recognize one of them as was it Charles?
Charles, you murdered Charles.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we did or if he ran away.
Smoked him.
Okay.
No, you. But
yeah,
there is.
So do we recognize one of those as Charles? Then, because if he's dead and those are undead, right?
Yeah.
Charles was also undead. Charles.
Oh,
was
he
an
was,
undead
wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, Charles.
You're
Charles
right.
was an undead general. The living. Just as a rundown of how the Elysian Empire works, William creates wizards in necromancy to control his land, because people don't really like taking orders from the undead. Like, other living prefer to take orders from other living. And that's the goal of the living wizards. About 95% of his military forces, including the officers, are dead. Some of the dead are given sentiency, much like wights and death knights, and aren't just mindless zombies. But you never have to fear a mutiny when you magically control the whole army.
That's fair.
So it's fair to say that William is here just through the eyes of one of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So it gives him the ability to safely. You surmise it has been 25 years since you've seen William in a battle. You surmise that if his reach has gone as far as he wanted it to, he probably never leaves his castle.
He's
probably still in the Elysian Empire.
Would I think he's a lich at this point?
No.
No? Okay.
I will give you the fact that lichdom takes a long time. And William at this point is only like 60.
Yeah.
You could easily surmise that he's
just finished college when he started all this, right?
Correct. Yeah. He was like 25 himself. So actually he's like 50. Depending on how long the war went. So like 50 to 60 years old. In the next 25 years, he's probably going to start working towards lichdom. But currently he's just an uber powerful archmage. Right. So it seems to be just a smorgasbord of undead. None of them are particularly memorable. One of them seems to be wearing a more admiral attire, like a long coat and one of those frilly hats that go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be the leader of the group. The others seem to be like skeletons 1 through 5.
So zombies 1 through 5 and zombie Captain Crunch.
Correct. The 3 Solnarians are
Oh, can I guess?
Sure, go right ahead.
Hold on,
Do you want me to just explain?
I'll
just do explanations of who's there, and you can give me a guess.
Yeah.
So the one in the center is massive. Dude's probably like 8 feet tall. His eyes are completely radiant balls of light. He is decked in ceremonial gear, and a massive greatsword is tied to his back. He's got kind of that Julius Caesar haircut and a ring of laurels that goes to the back. That one's fairly easy.
Yeah, I think that's Solnar, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one fairly simple. Literally, dude looks like he's ready to go toe to toe with Dispater, who's across the table from him. The second one is a female human Solnarian. Looks human, but is more in like the divine. The classic Asimar look where their skin is like silver and has gold tattoos. She's wearing a wizardly robes, has a fancy, huge hat, like pointed witch's hat. She seems to have a couple wands stuffed in different like
Illyrial.
Yes, that is Illyrial Solnar. Who is the eldest daughter and the head of the magic school. And then finally there is a kind of this kid. He's not really a kid. He is the youngest of the lot, but he's probably older than most of you, I guess. I'm unclear. But it is another sort of cloth wearing. This time it's not as fancy. It seems much more practical. He has a book readily in arm's reach, and one of his arms seems to be shriveled up and holding it to his chest, like a disfigured arm. And he sits very close to the table and is kind of leaning over it, and he coughs every once in a while. He's got like long, kind of oily black hair, which is a very stark contrast to the gold accents he has on his skin and in the irises of his eyes.
I don't think this is a Solnar, is it?
It is.
It is? Is it one of the younger ones? Like
this is Abaddon.
Abaddon. Okay. Yeah. Was he the one that went with Alexander Dumas?
He is not.
No? Okay. I wonder what happened to his arm.
So those are the 3 Solnarians. And then there's a tiefling and Dispater. The tiefling is dressed in a fine crushed velvet suit with frills, has many rings on his fingers, and seems to be picking his teeth with a very fancy dagger that has a carnelian pommel that is red. He's chilling next to Dissipator, his dad. Dissipator is you guys have met Dissipator, right? Like, this party met Dissipator in
just the once.
Just the once. So just as a recap, Dissipator is a like classic 21st century devil. I is the only way I can explain him. Like an Italian Gucci suit, like a single ring on the pinky, a finely cut goatee and mustache, devil horns and slicked black hair. His son looks like Austin Powers, and he looks like James Bond. Is kind of the vibe that's going on there. And then you have the two demons, and that is a weird demon that can't seem to sit still and looks like a gnoll but has like extra fingers, and its jaw kind of opens up a bit farther than it should. If anybody wants to give me a religion, history, or arcana check, whichever you would prefer.
All those are equally not good for me. Or average.
those are all the intelligence things I'm not proficient in. I don't know who this guy is.
14.
Clarny, you got religion, right?
Actually, I don't think my religion's very high.
Because it's an intelligence stat, so actually
Right.
most clerics and paladins forget about it, and then
Everything in the intelligence is 0 for me.
Yeah. Most clerics and paladins don't look at it because it's.
But I did roll a natural 20, so
Hey,
There you
that's
go.
nice.
So,
Like the real world, most religious people don't actually know what's in their religion.
They don't know other religions.
so this is a demon of Yinogu, the king of ghouls, the god of gnolls. You are vaguely aware that Yinogu is known to, back when they would fight on the mortal plane more often, they would eat entire battlefields worth of corpses. They fought with a brutal flail that is said to have been stained and bloodied to such a point that the blood, if you pour water on the flail, blood pours out. It sounds very familiar. Demon Prince of the Gnolls. That's that. You're unclear if that is Yinogu or if it's just a servant. Probably just a servant due to its diminutive stature. The dude next to him, though, radiates power. And Craig, you recognize the stench of undeath on that guy.
I mean, do I see that one? I feel like I kind of could assume.
Yeah, that's Orcus.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
He seems to be. It's either Orcus or an avatar of Orcus. Either or is problematic. You can easily surmise that if he showed up, that's probably who is currently running Fleshberg.
So if that's the case, then we definitely got William and him batting for the same team here. And I mean, we're with Solnar, of course, but Dissipator technically is with Solnar, right? Because he's running their Thieves Guild. I don't know. Let's see where it goes.
Okay, and so that's like Narvos's like sweep of who everybody is. And now we lead it to Eddie, who breaks the awkward silence by saying what, buddy?
Oof.
So
I
you're
would
at
like
the
to.
table.
I would like to, inform you all about a great new opportunity. The opportunity to bring hidden knowledge back to light. Learn how things were done in the good old days. An opportunity to truly enlighten yourself. And if any of you are interested in this opportunity, please speak to me after the meeting, and we'll see what we can do. I'm trying to sell it like a multi-level marketing kind of thing.
Dissipator kind of leans back in his chair and lets out a pretty hearty chuckle. Everybody else looks at you disparagingly.
Are you wearing
Maybe
your
except for
armor?
Red.
Are you wearing your armor?
I want my armor to have like kind of the suit kind of not so much armor appearance, but more like a business suit attire kind of thing with the ABC, of course, on
A
the chest.
Mr. Bird, if you would.
Mr. Bird, exactly. That's the look I'm going for here.
And
You
it's
got it.
yellow.
Yeah. Okay. You do that, and you notice it takes a second for it to take effect, and you notice that Big Bird is not in this room. He's not talking. He doesn't seem to have anything to say. Very odd. But your warlock powers do continue, as they are more innately tied to you. It's a gift imparted to you, and until revoked, you can use it. Yeah, nobody really seems to like engage with you, though you do seem to get a hearty chuckle from Dissipator.
I asked them to meet me after the meeting, so I'm not too shaken up that no one's talking about it right now.
At this point, the hatch door opens again, and quickly, only Eddie hears this. A heavy footfalls, claw falls, go down the stairs as Big Bird quickly enters the room. As you hear normal footsteps coming down, and like with deep breaths, he goes, "Eddie, look out for it!" And then at that, he disappears again as the hatch door closes, and once again, the abjuration takes into effect. So only Eddie saw that. Big Bird comes down in a huff and a puff and says to look out, and then vanishes again.
We got an Echodu with me, and I am prepared to swap places with it.
The butler, where did you put the Eddie?
He's going to be standing in like a corner of this room.
Okay, so literally the most shadow jutsu I've ever seen. Nobody even knows there's a clone over there. You got it. Footfalls, 2 sets of footfalls come down. The butler reaches the bottom of the stairs and to you all goes, "And may I introduce the master of the house?" Nobody. And coming down the steps is a very well-dressed individual in a very nice purple suit, a long black cape behind him. Also kind of got black hair and a small black goatee. And when he turns the corner, he smiles. A very like disconcerting kind of oily smile at you all. And Craig, it's very obvious that he has fangs. To you, at least.
Nice. Yeah. Craig got nothing against vampires.
He walks over to the huge chair. Looks at 1, 2, 3, 4, and he counts each individual.
God damn it.
Anyway, I think there's 5, 6, 9, 11, 13, and then there's 4 of you, so 17. And then he counts himself as 18, and then he nods and sits down and goes, I'm glad you can all make it here. It is good to see you all. I hope we can keep the status quo, and together we can continue to make profits. Now, my informants tell me that William has declared, before I continue, I'm just going to briefly do this because I'm tired of hearing that. The William has attacked the beaches of Solnar. Your spies will tell you the same, Orcus. Now, I know that that would mean a swift attack from Fleshberg. Those two forces would crush Solnar. I, myself, would be forced to intervene with the might of Sheltertown and those individuals that profit and grow rich and safe under my care. Now, you may be wondering why the devils and this adventuring group are here as well. This adventuring group, I think it may come as no surprise to you, William, are the ones that seek your demise more than any. Your spies tell you this, my spies tell me this. I'm sure you've already been planning their demise. They, I believe, are steps ahead of you, my friend. But I believe they today might be willing to help bring an amicable peace to this great conflict. The devils, it may surprise you, Solnar, have a stake in your city, right under your nose. And they may be willing to help in your fight should this go sideways. This is no small threat that I make today. If we do not reach a peace, Solnar will be destroyed. I foresee it. You all foresee it. And without your major adversary, Orcus, who will keep your demons in check, what leverage would you hold over them? And William, with that many soldiers to run amok, you could take over your whole continent. That cannot happen. You will make enemies of the world by doing this. The Count sits down in his chair and sort of like folds his hands out and goes, so, what sort of peace can be arranged? What is it truly that William wants from this attack on Solnar? And after a couple seconds, the clicking of one of the skeletons ceases. And it stands up and like slams its hands on the ground, on the table, and goes, I demand that we be paid a tithe yearly. My people begin to starve. We don't have enough lands, and Solnar is too scared to push out of their walls. If they won't give us those lands, we demand 25% of all of their food for every year for the next 100 years. If we are not given this, we will take what we need by force. And then like the skeleton crackles and like returns to being a normal skeleton again. What are you guys up to as like this begins to happen?
When I hear the thing about the skeleton saying we don't have enough food for everyone.
Okay, you got to repeat yourself, Eddie.
No, he wasn't muted for anybody but you. I don't know how you did that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But he muted himself.
Myself.
He muted himself shortly after that.
Okay. Well, Eddie, can you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Eddie's gonna let out a chuckle as he hears that William, with his unlimited free labor, is unable to feed his population. It's very funny for Eddie. Because it's just so stupid. He's laughing.
As Eddie does that, I kind of hit the table and I say, "The Gobland should be enough room for you to grow your food." And then I try to contain myself.
In response, the skeletons goes, "You ruined that invasion. The goblins once again control their lands. We were quickly pushed back out."
Good.
And he's gonna laugh even harder now.
This invasion wouldn't have even been necessary if you had just kept to yourselves. Curiosity.
I mean, are you really that bad at managing crops? It's called like a cycle. You do the ground, till the soil in a certain area for a certain amount of times, and then switch to a different area so you don't drain that area. You can rotate it. It's not that hard. I don't know anything about crops, and I can do that.
We have too many people for this. We do rotate crops. Our population has boomed in the past decade. We don't have enough farmers, and we don't have enough land to feed all of the individuals in our territory.
He doesn't have enough farmers, but he has enough soldiers to push the fucking biggest city I've ever been in.
You have tens of thousands of troops, and they could be doing whatever you want them to do. And you're using them for military purposes instead of farming?
We've got undead tilling the lands. We're doing all of that.
This is pretty unsustainable. Sure, you expand again, but what's going to happen? In 5 years, you're going to be in this exact same position looking to expand again because you never solved
then we expand
your
again.
problem. Yeah, to where? To where? You keep expanding. What if you conquer the whole world? You're still going to have this problem. It's dumb.
You bring these children to mock me?
Look at him. He's gone to ad hominems. He automatically loses the argument. He's basically admitted that he has no idea what he's doing. Embarrassing.
Nobody looks at you guys and kind of like furrows his brow and goes, I don't think you guys are helping very much. Do you want Solnar to fall?
No, we want to be there helping Solnar at the moment. You're the one that interrupted it.
I just think William should understand that he's about to spend a lot of money to try and conquer this city to basically kick the can down the road. And that if he was to just instead to invest in his own lands and making them better, he'd probably have a much better return on investment.
I have the best empire on the planet.
Do you not have any like druids there that can do some magic stuff and make ground?
Nope. They all stood against me.
Of course they did. Your necromancy.
That's unfortunate.
It's ridiculous. And don't call me a child. I'm older than you. Dissipator, if you wanted to, you could help protect Solnar right now.
Hey, I don't really have much of an investment in it. That House Narvos really left that shit wide open. I kind of just stepped in and paid them for the first time in months. And really, it only took like
an investment
100 gold.
I'd point to Orcus.
Yeah, Orky over there, he's actually kind of chill. He's not my favorite, but he's better than that grass
actually kind
dude.
Of chill.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you compare him to the other ones, I mean, you should have been here like 200 years ago when Yinogu over there was in charge before Orcus bitch slapped him down. I mean, whew. Red just smiling. He's not saying anything. He's just watching, enjoying. Solnar quietly stands up. His glowing eyes turn to the skeleton that William has been animating personally, and he goes, Tell me what it will cost in your country, in your Spitz empire. We will make life better there. Maybe a partnership instead of this barbarism. You didn't even send an envoy to ask for help. William, kind of in this shrill skeleton scream, goes, "We don't need help. We'll take what we need."
You see this, nobody?
Nobody kind of turns to you, Craig, and goes, "I'm just in this for my profits. This war will make me money, but I'm unclear how. I'm safer with the devil." And he kind of like nods towards Dissipator as he says it. "The devil I know. If this is a war that must happen, then it must happen. I'm just here to give the space for a discussion to happen that obviously William here was not willing to begin himself. I am powerful enough to force everybody here to the table. I'm not powerful enough to force them to agree. That is what I hoped you might be here for. Leverage against William. A threat, maybe."
What? What if we ended the storm?
I personally don't like that idea, actually.
It would give more land for people to grow their food on that they desperately so need.
That is once again a breaking of the status quo. And like you see a big backpedal from nobody right there of like, "Oh shit, what?
Oh no.
Hey, that is also not what I want. In fact, I know how to do it, and you would have to literally go through me." So
I know.
a wild threat right there. And he kind of like looks around at a wild threat right there. Crazy dudes here. Good thing no business is done on company property. You are lucky, my friend.
That I also know.
I mean, it again, to reiterate what Solnar said, it seems the status quo could have been upheld if, William, you had been willing to swallow your pride long enough to say, "Hey, could we work out something more than just this little trade thingy we have going, and maybe do a little bit more than that?" If you had said, "Hey, could we maybe increase it so I get a little bit more food and you get a little more something," instead of, I don't know, sending a tsunami to wipe out the port and start a war. It just seems like you went from step 1 to 100 instead of 1 to 2.
Yes, and if you want to help your people, listen to them. No one in the Rumagarian Empire wants to live under the conditions you put it in.
Everybody loves living in the Elysian Empire. Everybody loves living there. We did a poll recently. We have 100% approval rating.
I did not like living there. I didn't.
You weren't living there when the poll was made. You didn't vote. It doesn't count.
Can I vote now?
No.
No, I'm voting no. And I say my parent will also. I turn to my parent. What do you think about living in the Elysian Empire? I say to my parent.
The parent never lived there. It kind of turns to you and goes, I didn't live there. You found me on an island.
I want him to just say no.
Well, he doesn't. He has an intelligence of like 1 and can't lie. Because I don't know. I don't know what that is. What's the Elysian Empire?
I tell him you did your best. I say my parent, you did your best.
Oh, thank you.
It was a good try.
I appreciate that.
There's a lack of representation here.
The nobody turns to you and kind of goes, "Who do you think should be here then?"
Some gods. If the world is to fall because of this battle, I feel like they should have a hand in it. And I look at Clarny.
Well, I agree with you there. I don't think we're in any position to make decisions on this scale.
The gods cannot see into this room.
But the devils and the demons can be here.
Well, they are not gods.
I'm just chuckling.
They are not gods. It is a technicality in the abjuration magic, but it checks, and I also invited them in. If I invited a god, then they would come, but I have not had a conversation with a god, well, other than my god, of course. have
And
not had
that
a
would be?
conversation with a god in many eons.
Who's your god?
Oh, it is a long. It is what you may know as the first vampire.
I don't.
Aren't there
Don't
like a ton
personally
of
know.
them over up north of where William is? I ended up over there for a brief time, and I heard that there were like a ton over there.
I'm sure my patron is very prolific, but he, I promise you, is the first. He enjoys raising the numbers of his kin, one might say. And that does like a nice little chuckle.
There's
And
through the
he-
knowledge of Eric Cochran, do we have any sort of like cultural insight into this guy?
No,
Okay.
you just know a language. You didn't get like the culture part of the language course. You just got the language.
As someone who knows more than one language, it's hard to separate language from culture. But okay.
Okay.
If this is the case, nobody, then you have more than a monetary stand in this, as you cannot turn a zombie or skeleton into a vampire, I'd imagine.
Well, I don't care about making vampires. I have not
Right,
made a
okay,
vampire
okay.
in a long time. But all I care about is making money and keeping the people of Sheltertown safe is my own personal goal. My patron doesn't really care about the people of Sheltertown. That is my own self dream. But let it be known, I am not to be trifled with. They
Right.
know this. That is what brings them to the table. I assumed with a name like Curiosity, all you needed was a prompt. You didn't need to know the power that sits behind the prompt. But there's a
Figured as
reason that
much.
each of these individuals are here.
Yeah, I mean, we assumed, but
I think we might have to take a look at the long-term safety of Sheltertown instead of the short-term safety of Sheltertown when considering this conflict. And then I turn to Dissipator. I say, do you have any business in the Elysian Empire that William is interfering with that's like hurting profits, just out of curiosity?
I not really, no. I have a few businesses in the capital, but like mostly whorehouses. And his archmages regular them frequently. They're good sources of information too.
there's a whole new meaning to the term boner.
Do you think you could? I'm just wondering if there would be more business opportunities in the Elysian Empire if William wasn't there.
I mean, one could argue that, and I think William could easily argue in the other. I have never sought to interfere in William's plans. He is rather smart. He also has a tendency to burn down what he can't have.
Mm. So William, let's just look at this bigger picture long term. So you say you wanted what, 25% from of the food from Solnar for the next 100 years.
Mhm.
Say that happens. Solnar, I mean, sure, they have a lot, but it's not an infinite supply. So they're eventually going to run out, or that's going to, you're going to have more population and you're going to need more and more and more. What happens when you need more and Solnar isn't able to do that, and your population is growing and you need more food? What are you going to do then?
I will find a new place to conquer. Maybe Fleshburg. Maybe I'll come to Sheltertown. But
Exactly.
the Elysian Empire must stand. They can either share or they can be conquered. Those are their options. It's a binary.
So what you're saying is,
He's
I'm
threatening
going to get
everybody
what
at
I
the table.
want, and eventually you're guaranteeing that you're going after everyone regardless of where they stand now.
Except Dissipator.
Apparently so.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, this painter kind of is everybody. Is the issue.
Right, yeah.
So
The goals of having your hands in all the pots.
just to
Getting
be
the
clear,
sense that-
everyone else at the table, and I look at everyone else around the table, heard what he just said, right? That he eventually down the road, it might be 100, might be 200 years. He's coming for you guys because he's going to have the situation of population get too big, need more food, don't have enough food because population got too big, need more land, so on and so forth. And
you see, this doesn't
you're all
seem to
targets.
phase Orcus at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't seem to care. He actually seems like he's asleep, and the little knoll guy is just giggling. You're aware that, like, for eons, for many millennia, demons have been born, raised, and died with the singular goal of destroying Solnar. They generally don't have much other than that. So if William's current design is to bring ruin to Solnar, it doesn't matter that one day that same ruin will come to them. They'll take that short victory, even if it means their demise.
I think it's really, kind of sad for the demons that they've been trying to destroy Solnar for all these years, and it's William who's going to do it. I mean, I don't know. I'd feel really embarrassed if someone just came, swooped in and stole my whole thing. I don't know. That's just me, though.
That would be embarrassing if it was true, but it's not. So Orcus doesn't give a fuck about what you just said.
But I mean, nobody. You got that right. He said he's gonna come after you eventually.
Well, he knows what kind of mistake that would be.
I mean,
I don't think he does.
He's gonna get exponentially more powerful if he takes over Solnar, other lands. You're basically saying he's not directly threatening me now, so it's not my problem that he's
William will have
person.
to march his armies through the entirety of the storm. During that time, I can accrue more troops. I can whittle down his numbers through my powerful allies and friends. I could probably, if Solnar's destroyed at that point, ally with the demons and have a united force against them. I cannot see the future, my friends. The demons will not side with Solnar. You curiosity, I brought you here to try and make sense. All you have done is speak like you are prophets, like you know the future.
You're the one that says you know the future. You said everybody here knows that Solnar is going to fall. That's what you said at the beginning of your speech.
Yes, it will fall to William.
Okay.
If nothing is done today.
Exactly.
If nothing is done today, Solnar will fall.
So let us all, except the stupid demons, fight him off. Come on.
Okay.
Fuck you, William. Let's go.
Okay.
This is pretty simple. I mean, we can draw lines.
All right, you guys, go ahead. Draw your lines.
Obvious.
All right. Nobody stands up and goes, well, this seems to be the end of negotiations. May the best side win, and one day I will catch you all, hopefully, here at the Continental. And he walks up and out of as the trapdoor opens, Big Bird reappears in front of Eddie and goes, oh my God, did you know you're still alive? Whew. Man, I hate that guy. He counts way too much. Super not what we're about.
I mean,
really the antithesis of us.
Just gonna say, I don't know what he was expecting to accomplish with a bunch of people who are as opposed to each other as you're gonna get, and not willing to talk to each other, and then just brought in random people that are like, "Yeah, we can help, right?" And I'm not entirely sure what he was expecting.
Starboy,
I think he just wanted to count a lot of people at the meeting. I think
he just wanted to count everybody.
I just wanted to count everybody. That's all he wanted to do.
Solnar instantly is gone. All three of those three look at the five undead, and then quickly these big radiant wings wrap around the two other ones and they vanish. Red with a bamf sound also is gone. with a disgusting farting sound, the demons disappear.
We have no way to teleport.
The Dissipator walks towards you guys as the 5 undead gather around that one skeleton who begins to draw on the ground with an arcane shock. And Dissipator goes, well, that went about as good as I expected it to. The Count isn't as good at diplomacy as he thinks he is. He's done about a dozen of these sorts of meetings, and I think that's about par for the course of how they turn out.
What can I do for you to have you help us right now?
Well, that is what you should have said in the meeting.
I didn't want all of them to help us. The demons weren't going to fucking do it.
That's very true. They fucking hate Solnar. Actually, to be honest, all the Count has done is informed them that Solnar is weak.
And under attack at the moment, yes.
I would say within a week, there will be a demon army marching towards Solnar.
Yeah, he really just kind of fucks.
He's a great guy. He makes a great cocktail. I'm not gonna lie. He fucks. I'm not gonna lie. He fucks, but a moron sometimes. I think the power of his patron really goes to his head. There's just numbers in there, not a lot of words.
Yeah, I don't really feel like we can count on him.
I like this guy. What could you do? I will take. I'll take my soul coins back first and foremost. Those will become more and more valuable as this war continues on.
We'll have to get them to you in Sonar.
Okay. But secondary, I want you, Mr. Narvos, to have your family give up all claim to the Thieves Guild. If you promise me that, you will have my aid and the aid of the guild.
But you'll have to take over.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see what I can do, because it kind of just seems if they give up all claims.
No,
the other families
my friend. This is a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You do it, or you don't, and you sign with your soul. I am the devil, and this is a deal with me. So will you do it, or won't you?
I'll do it.
Okay. Sure. Okay, and we shake hands now. You shake my hand. Do you shake his hand? Okay.
Yes.
So his hand goes from like a normal sort of humanoid hand to like the illusion that the glamour he constantly has cast on himself sort of fades for you for a second. And he is like 12 feet tall, covered in pelts of hellhounds. His hand elongates to like sharpened clawed nails. Like a proper devil. Like his horns grow several feet in length. His eyes begin to glow with brimstone fire. And you feel that your soul is marked with a deal of Dissipator will help you in this war, will give you aid. And in return, he expects the House of Narvos to give up its claim on the Thieves Guild of Solnar. Okay, well, everybody gather around. Gather around. Okay, come on. My son taught me this one.
You know this will result in more of a cat and mouse between you guys and the guard than it was before, just so you're aware.
If I need to teach my men how to murder guards, that's just another city I've done that in.
Great, sweet. All right, let's do it.
Really, all you gotta do, the third and fourth rib, it's all that matters. And he like with his hand, he draws some symbols on the ground and excitedly tells you how his son taught him this spell. And then with a bamf, you all disappear and are brought back to Solnar. You appear on your boat as the sound of trebuchets from the boats, the artillery pieces, the siege engines that were brought on the boats, begin to fire and slam into the radiant walls. That's where we're going to end today's episode as the siege of Solnar begins.
I'm already shooting the bottoms of boats out. All right. Bye, everyone.